listing your cards to do between a deck profile of the Chaos deck that's been boosted around the recent Clan Booster 06. So as you all know that the Chaos is being boosted from this set, and there's actually a new Chaos startle. However, we had chosen this startle that have been already been used by the Chaos deck mainly from the start. From the recent boost during the BT series. So yeah, so ever since this card was being released, this card have been actually been used in the Chaos deck. So basically the effect is, if your opponent have a lock card and you can pay the cost. If you do, put this card in the soul. If you do, search your deck for one Star-vader unit that's grade 1 and below other than this card itself. Call it Rearguard Circle and shuffle your deck. So this is actually a filtering card, and also allow you to superior call a unit if your opponent have a lock card. Now we move on to the grade 3, the main cards event, the Chaos itself. So the deck run 4 copies of Chaos Breaker Dragon. Okay, so this deck mainly, even though there's a Chaos Breaker Crisis, which is the new card, this deck still run at the max of Chaos Breaker Dragon as the main, because Chaos Breaker Dragon is still very strong in its deck. Limit Break 4, when a card has been unlocked, you may pay the cost, Soul Blast 1. Then if you do, destroy that unit, and also you get to draw a card. So yeah, so Blast 1, when a card being unlocked, you can actually gain destruction and also drawing a card. So it's 2 different effects by the cost of Soul Blast 1 and a card being unlocked. So the next effect is Color Blast 1 and choose a card with Star-vader in its card name from your hand and discard it. If you do, choose a card Rearguard on your opponent's field and then lock it. And then the third effect is Lock ability. So the Lock ability is a very strong effect, especially against Nubatama deck domination, because your opponents cannot dominate your Vanguard or Rearguard. If this card has been placed on the Rearguard circle, your opponent can dominate it, but however it cannot attack it because your opponent will have Nubatama on his or her side of the field, even though this card is treated as your opponent's unit. So this card is actually very anti-domination because of the Lock ability. Next, the deck run 3 copies of Chaos Breaker Crisis. As we mentioned, the main card of the deck is still Chaos Breaker Dragon due to the metas of the game. So the strike on skill, which is Color Blast 1. If you strike a unit with Star-vader in his card's name onto this card, so it's only restricted to cards with Star-vaders. So if you do, you can pay the cost, Color Blast 1, then choose one of your opponent's Rearguard and lock it. Same applies when this card is placed on the Vanguard circle. So it's either a card when this card is placed on Vanguard circle, or a unit with Star-vader in his card's name is strike onto this card, you can Color Blast 1 to lock one opponent's unit. Okay, the second effect is kind of similar, but however it's different because you do not have Soul Blast. So when a card has been unlocked, so basically it doesn't restrict to end of phase, so end of your opponent's turn. Yeah, so long as a card's been unlocked and during the turn you did not use this effect, you can actually choose to retire one of your opponent's lock card, the unlock card, then draw 1 card. However, do take note that you must successfully retire the card in order to draw a card, because unlike Chaos Breaker Dragon, you can choose to relock it by other card effect. This card you couldn't. If you choose to relock it, you cannot draw a card because you must retire a card in order to draw the card. Next, we move on to the grade 2 layout of the deck. The deck run 4 copies of Colony Mako. So this card is still being used in Chaos Breaker deck. So when on call skill, and then if you're Link Joker Vanguard, may the player cost Color Blast 1. Choose one grade 1 or below Star-vader's unit and then call to the Rearguard circle. After that, shuffle your deck. Next, the deck run 4 copies of the new Strange Dragon. So Strange Dragon effect is on call skill, and then until end of turn, if you have a Link Joker Vanguard and you will gain this skill. When this card's attack, if opponent can choose one of his or her rearguard and lock it. If he or her cannot lock the card, lock any card, meaning if let's say your opponent do not have any available rearguard, he or she this card will get 5,000 power. So it's when this card attack, it's not a your opponent may choose to lock or not. Your opponent must choose to lock one. If he could not, then you will get 5k power. Then the other skill is GB1 skill. When your opponent have a card been locked, this card get boost. So it's actually a 9k booster. Next, we run 2 copies of Iron. So basically, this card is when your Vanguard is an 11k attacker for Chaos. So your Vanguard is have a Chaos in its card name. This unit plus 2000 when it's attacking the Vanguard. Next skill is on call skill. On call, counter plus, and if you have a Chaos Vanguard, you may pay the cost, counter plus 1. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rearguard and lock it. Next, then run 2 copies of Proton. Okay, so Proton is still being used here and it's very important in the deck. So on call skill, and if you're Star-vader Vanguard, choose one opponent's rearguard, and if opponent already have a lock card, you can choose one of your opponent's rearguard and then lock it. So opponents must already have a lock card in order for you to lock another unit. Next, we move on to the Grid 1 layout. That run 4 copies of this card. So this is like a very important counter charge card of the whole deck. So if you have Chaos Vanguard, put this card in the soul. If you do, counter charge 2 and soul charge 2. So you gain soul for your Chaos Breaker Dragon and also counter charge 2 at the same time. Next, the deck run 4 copies of the new strike folders. So this new strike folder is just specifically striking for Star-vaders. If you strike for Star-vaders G unit, this unit's grade become 3. Next, when this card is being used for the cost for striding, and you may pay the cost, so plus 1, and then of course you must strike G unit with original card name with Chaos in its card name. Okay, so if you do, so plus 1, then check your top 7 cards and then add 1 Chaos card and then add to your hand. Then after that, shuffle your deck. So remember that you must have a G unit that is originally card name with Chaos in its card name, such as Chaos Universe or Chaos Breaker Deluge. Next, the deck run 4 copies of the new Perfect Guard. So this new Perfect Guard is basically when your opponents have 3 lock cards. When this card is called the Guardian Circle, you may draw a card. So it's a very good skill here there. Again, of course, the main effect is actually protecting your Star-vader's unit. So basically, it's a strong Perfect Guard that you can protect all your Star-vader unit. Next, the deck run 1 copies of board line. So basically, when this card is boosting and the attack hit the Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's lock card and then Omega lock it. And lastly, the Grid 1 is 1 limit break removal. So because this deck main is Chaos Breaker Dragon, so we have a limit break removal. So limit 4 is now reduced to 3 or less, also can be activated. Now we move on to trigger layout. The deck runs 4 copies of the critical triggers. So when opponents have a lock card on the field, and if you're a Star-vader Vanguard, you may choose one of your opponent's back row, lock it, and then put this card back to your top of the deck and then shuffle your deck. Next, the deck runs 5 copies of vanilla Star-vader critical triggers, 3 copies of Star-vader Mako clone. So put this card into the soul and choose 1 unit and then unit plus 3000 until end of turn. Lastly, the deck runs 4 copies of vanilla Star-vader Hue triggers. Next, we move on to G zone. the deck run 4 copies of Chaos Universe. So Chaos Universe effect is Counterblast 1, Persona Flip, then choose one card, choose one rearguard circle. Your opponent choose a card from his or her hand, call onto that circle and then as lock. And then if the number of face-up card in your G-zone is 2 or more, you get to choose one of your opponent's rearguard and lock it. Next, the deck run 4 copies of the new Glueball. So Glueball Dragon's effect is Soblast 1, Persona Flip itself, then choose one rearguard for each face-up card in your G-zone, then lock the rearguard of your opponents. The GB3 skill, this unit plus dry check plus 1, and then for each opponent's rearguard that's been for each opponent lock card, your front row get 3000 power. Your front row Star-vaders get 3k power. Next, the deck run 2 copies of Chaos Breaker Deluge. Chaos Breaker Deluge, Soblast 1, and then Persona, choose a card in your G-zone, turn it face up, and choose one card from your hand and discard it. Okay, so you gain the skill of your opponent choose 2 cards from his or her hand, call it to the rearguard circle, and then S lock it. Again, after that, you get to choose one. If your number of damage in your opponent's damage zone is 4 or less, you get to choose one of your opponent's lock card and put into the G-zone in face down position. One of the lock card. So it's very good that you can actually reduce your opponent's hand size, and yet you can put a card from the lock, deal 1, kind of considered deal 1 damage, but you put it as face down, so your any triggers, it won't be triggered. Yeah, anyway, this is not from a damage check, so yeah, so it's a very good making your opponent into the 5th damage if let's say your opponent is having a 4 damage. Yeah, so it's pressuring because his hand also get reduced at the same time. That's the new Chaos mechanism, with more of the hand control. Now we move on to the G-zone. The deck run 2 copies of the Star-vader G Guardian. So basically, when this card called rearguard Guardian Circle, pay the cost, choose one of your unit in the back row, lock it, then this unit plus 5k shield. Next, the deck run 2 copies of Destiny Dealer Guardian. Destiny Guardian's effect is when this card is called the Guardian Circle, choose 2 of your two lock card, unlock them, and then this unit get 10,000 power. This is a very good combo with Chaos Breaker Crisis, because Chaos Breaker Crisis, when a card is being unlocked, you may choose, and if you didn't use the effect, you can destroy it. So basically, when you unlock 2 cards, you can choose to retire one of them, and then draw a card at the same time when you use Destiny Guardian. So it's a combo with Chaos Breaker Crisis. Lastly, the deck run 2 copies of the Fighter Collection. So call onto Guardian Circle, pay a cost, Counterblast 1, and then choose one G Guardian and turn it face up. You do choose up to 3 of your rearguard, lock it, and then your opponent choose up to 3. For each card that you lock, your opponent choose one card at his or her back row and lock it. So that we hope that you enjoy today's deck profile of the new Chaos Breaker Dragon, Chaos decks update from GCB06. Until next time, please do help us like and do share and do subscribe to Destiny of Cards. See you.